Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I remember being very young and thinking that Sleeping Beauty Aurora was the most beautiful Disney princess I had ever seen in my life. And once I heard her story, I remember falling in love with it. And I've been in love with that story for almost 30 years. And if you are somebody who feels the exact same way, then you're not alone. And I think this could be the YouTube channel for you, which I wish you would subscribe to, because I would love for you to be a part of this incredible journey that I feel like I've been on for forever. Having the chance to meet so many incredible fans of Descendants of Zombies who have felt very closely to this franchise and the characters that have shared their stories with all of us. Because no matter who we are, we all have a favorite character from Descendants. That could have been Mal, that may have been Red, that might have been Chloe, and we've all taken something special away from their stories and the way that people on YouTube have told you those stories. And I like to feel like I've told this story very differently, and I think that I've won the hearts of a lot of fans of Descendants of Zombies because of that. And honestly, guys, I've had the time of my life, and if there was one thing I could go back in time and re-experience all over again, it would be having the chance to share this story with you in a very different way, with a lot of passion and a whole lot of heart. Because that's exactly what it takes to bring these franchises to life, both Descendants of Zombies, which have obviously held a very special place in our hearts for a very long time. Whoever you are, from wherever you're watching this video, from wherever you see me this morning or are hearing my voice, I want you to know that you have forever and always held a very special place in my heart, because without you, there would have never been a Jonathan Clarke, and this YouTube channel would have never been created. This YouTube channel obviously has everything to do with the passion that you've held in your hearts that comes in the form of collecting the Descendants of Zombies dolls and the Descendants of Zombies Worlds Collide Tour hoodies that have held a very special place in our hearts for a very long time. I think Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour is going to be something special to experience, and we are all going to experience this together. I remember last summer seeing the Worlds Collide Tour for the first time ever and being absolutely blown away. I couldn't wait to experience the Worlds Collide Tour and to have the chance to review it. So if I was going to say anything about Kylie Cantrell and Freya Skye and Malia Baker and Malachi Barton, it was going to have to be something nice. Because I knew somewhere out there in this really big galaxy, there was a girl who loved Descendants of Zombies with all of her heart who was watching Jonathan Clarke's videos. And I wanted to give her something to believe in more than ever before. And I'm going to continue to give her something more than ever before to believe in as we make our way into the future, which many of us are very uncertain about because we don't know what the future has in store. But you know something, guys? The most exciting thing about the future is never knowing what's coming next. It's kind of like, I've used this analogy time and time again over the years. It's kind of like going to the movies and how you see the previews within the first 20 minutes. You never know what's coming next, because if you did, because you read something online, you wouldn't be as excited for the new Supergirl movie or the new Spider-Man movie coming out in July. You would have never known if you never read it online. And the thing is, when you see that preview, you're so excited and you start making plans for the future. And as we see the previews for Descendants 5 Book Wonderland, we can't help but be excited. We can't help but feel overjoyed about how Descendants 5 Book Wonderland is coming out, and we're all going to have the chance to be a part of something special. I don't know about other critics on YouTube who have often reviewed Descendants of Zombies, or at least attempted to review Descendants of Zombies, and I say attempted very lightly because their perception of Descendants of Zombies is obviously very different from mine, because I've thought for forever that I live in this haunted house in the most haunted place in the world. But you know something? Stop laughing. That's what's allowed me to bring these videos to life. And the one thing I see all the time on your guys' faces and in your hearts is so much excitement for Descendants of Zombies. And I think that's the most rewarding feeling that a content creator gets on YouTube, is having the chance, he or she, to have the chance to be a part of something so incredible. Something that I know that I will never ever forget, because you guys have held a very special place in my heart for many years and will continue to for many years to come. I've often shared stories with you about how I was a video gamer and how I believe that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Scooby-Doo were some of the coolest shows that I had ever watched, because I know what it was like, that feeling to watch Saturday morning cartoons and catch the latest episode of the Power Rangers or the animated Spider-Man or Goosebumps or Are You Afraid of the Dark? And I remember sitting in front of my TV with a bowl of cereal on Saturday mornings, which a lot of us did back in the 1990s, because having the chance to grow up as a millennial from 1986 to the year 2000 was so cool. And seeing the original cast of the Power Rangers come to life and the original Spider-Man voiced by Pete Souls, it was so fun. And I know that the comparison is made about how, you know, fans of Disney now in this generation will never know what it was like to be a true Disney fan. But I've often made the comparison about what would have been like to have the chance to grow up as a fan of Descendants of Zombies and experience these franchises for their true worth, like many of you have done. I, for one, believe that even with how cool it was being a fan of Disney in the past generations, it's just as cool and just as fun being a fan of Disney in this generation, because we have the retelling of these Disney princesses stories in live actions, because we have the upcoming live action Tangle with Milo Manheim playing Flint Rider, and of course McKenna Grace playing Rapunzel, which many of us are really excited about. The chemistry between these two is really going to be off the charts. I, for one, would have loved to have seen Meg Donnelly reprise the role of Rapunzel and shared the stage with Milo Manheim from the Zombies fame, because that would have been so cool, although we're going to have to see her sit this one out. I have often said this. I think that someone like Meg Donnelly deserves more credit than ever before. That's obviously how I felt about Meg Donnelly for a very long time, and I've been very vocal about that because she's been shut down for so many opportunities. She just recently got denied the opportunity to be Supergirl in the live-action Supergirl. That honor was given to Millie Alcott, and she's receiving such praise for her role as Supergirl on June 26th. That one will come out. That has been confirmed, which many of us already know. But I think about Meg Donnelly, doing all these interviews about how she was shut down and denied the opportunity to be Supergirl or to have the opportunity to be Rapunzel in the live-action Tangled. And I thought to myself, why not? I say this because Meg Donnelly's had this desire to entertain all of us and to be a part of something special and to make all of us feel a part of something special. I've heard so many interviews about her battles with anxiety and coping with depression and how she's never really felt like she's never been good enough for everybody. For sure she has. I think that how she brought that character Addison to life was very beautifully done, and I always remember thinking that Meg Donnelly was such a beautiful person who deserved far more credit. And then on the other side of the coin, I see Kylie Cantrell doing Instagram live feeds where she's saying that she hates men, and she really doesn't feel like she herself is good enough. I think that's how people have made Kylie Cantrell feel, and we can do something about that. I think that we can change Kylie Cantrell's perception on life. Now, I know her opinions on a lot of different things like politics and relationships have been very different. Obviously, men, yes. But I think that through the love and support that we've had for Kylie Cantrell, that can give her more incentive to feel more creative and more inspiring than perhaps ever before, because you can't lie. You're somebody who loves Kylie Cantrell with all of your heart. That's why you're here. You're somebody who loves Meg Donnelly with all of your heart, and that's why you're here. And I find time in appreciating that, and that's what brings these videos to life. I can't lie. The story of Addison Wells was a beautiful story. How she fell in love with Zed Kotsopoulos and how they spent the rest of their lives together, which was the one thing we wanted to see out of the Zombies franchise and get out of our experience of being a Zombies fan. When that finally became a realization for us, how did you feel? How did that make you feel? If you felt overjoyed that you finally got what you wanted out of the Zombies franchise, along with a more beautiful story to be examined and explored than perhaps ever before between Nova and Victor to look forward to in the future with them carrying on the legacy of the Zombies franchise, then I supported that. And I found time in appreciating every fan of Descendants of Zombies that there ever was, because when they thought probably 50 people would come out to these conventions, 300-400 would show up every single time. And because 300 and 400 people would show up every single time, that's what blew Descendants of Zombies out of the water. That's what made Descendants of Zombies so special for everybody. I seem to be suffering from a zombie infection this morning recording these videos, and you guys are going to have to forgive me. Every single time I ever push record, I'm suffering from a zombie infection. But again, that's what's allowed me to bring these videos to life, along with thinking that I've lived in a haunted house for forever. Undeniably, the stories of Zed and Addison and Rhett and Chloe will hold a very special place in our hearts for many years to come. And I like to believe that 20 years from now, we're still going to be having these conversations and discussing how these stars have a chance more than anybody of going down in history of being some of the greatest of all time. And I've often wanted to be a part of something special, and I think Descendants of Zombies gave me that chance to relate to far more people than perhaps I ever imagined possible. Do you guys think, as a content creator, I imagine that over almost 4,000 people would have subscribed here and over 125,000 channel views would have ever happened? No, I most certainly didn't. But it happened because of how much of a chance you guys took on me and how you always saw something special in me. The thing that a content creator never says to you, something that a content creator should say to you more often, is thank you. because you are the reason why the magic happens for the YouTube channels. You are the reason why everything happens the way it does, and will continue to be the reason why everything happens the way it does for many of us on YouTube for many years to come. And I think that as long as we can offer you inspiration to continue on believing in your favorite stars and all these moments that have made you fans of Descendants of Zombies, that's what makes all of our videos special. That's what gives you a reason to hit our subscribe buttons. Because every time I upload a video about Descendants of Zombies, I never know who's going to hit my subscribe button or who's going to take that much of a chance on me, because I never thought that anybody ever would. But you guys saw something special in this loser, because to be honest with you guys, I was playing video games before many of you came into my life. And you showed me so much incentive to create so many wonderful videos about Descendants of Zombies and Liamani Segura and Clarke and Trail, because they are really beautiful people who just have dreams like all of us. They have dreams of wanting to perform on the stage at Madison Square Garden, dreams that we can make happen for them because we believe in them with all of our hearts. When I hear Clarke and Trail and Liamani Segura talking about wanting to perform on the stage at Madison Square Garden, I think to myself, how can I make that happen? I've made this happen for so many people because I believed in them. I worked in the wrestling industry and I worked in the music industry for many years. I think to myself, how can I make that happen? But you know something? We can make that happen together because we've never quit on Clarke and Trail. We see something special in her fashion sense. We see something special in her creativity. And that's what I see is worth encouraging. I don't see the point in coming on here and discouraging everybody's hopes and dreams of something special happening for Descendants of Zombies, because I know what it's like to be just like you and reading your favorite story about your favorite Disney princess, because no matter who we are, we all have a favorite Disney princess. Now, I knew this one girl who just absolutely hated Disney princesses and never wanted to give them much of a chance, but I, quickly realized that even though she didn't like Disney princesses, there are far more people out there who do, and who want to give a chance to these Disney princesses more than ever before. I know that everybody's opinion is different, and that's what creates diversity in this world. But I think that's what also creates opinions and makes these conversations so interesting, is how everybody feels differently about Disney princesses and the stories they bring to life. How Rapunzel's story was inspired by this girl that was locked up in a tower for forever by her dad because he didn't want her to have any involvement with men. And that was so cool, how Disney would take these stories from hundreds of years ago and draw so much inspiration from it. And I've continued to draw inspiration from these stories for what feels like forever. And I will continue to for many years to come. I look forward to being a part of this incredible summer with all of you. I look forward to being a part of something so special while sharing my story with you, with far more people than I ever imagined possible, and having the chance to hear your stories from your perspective on what makes you a fan of Descendants of Zombies. Because no matter who we are, we all have a reason as to why we're a fan of Descendants of Zombies, because of the music, because of the story that's been told time and time again. But you know something that's so special about Descendants of Zombies is that each time this story is told, the story sounds differently, and it feels differently. We feel as if we're a part of something that we've never had the chance to be a part of. You guys will forever hold a very special place in my heart for how much you've meant to me and what you've done for this YouTube channel, because the 4,000 people who have just about subscribed here have seen something special in my videos every single time that I've ever pushed record, that I've ever had the chance to be a part of something so special. Thank you so much for believing in this YouTube channel with all of your heart and being so excited about Descendants 5, Book of Wonderland. We also have Camp Rock 3 this summer to look forward to, and I'm so excited to be a part of that one too, because it's been forever, since at least 2010, since a new Camp Rock movie has been made. And the cool thing about this generation of stars that are going to make up the cast of Camp Rock 3 is it's going to be a very different cast, and we're going to get the chance to see them on the stage, sharing them with your favorite Descendants of Zombie stars, and a whole new cast of Descendants of Zombie stars coming into the mix, which I'm really excited about. Freya Sky and Malachi Barton have taken over the leads, and their story is going to be very beautiful, along with all these new cast members. Mermaids have been officially confirmed too for Zombies 5. I was going to call it something different just then, but mermaids have been officially confirmed for this one too. Aquatic creatures by the thousands are going to be involved in this franchise for the first time ever, because years ago when Zombies first premiered, you never would have thought there would be a chance of ever seeing mermaids. You would have thought probably just, zombies, werewolves, and aliens, the basic concepts. And Disney has thrown everything together in this huge cauldron, and it's exploded in popularity, and it doesn't take a degree in rocket science to figure out why. This franchise has held a very special place in our hearts for a very long time, and will continue to for many years to come. So if you are somebody who has never subscribed to this YouTube channel, I think you're going to think about wanting to do that, because this YouTube channel has something special for every fan of Descendants of Zombies in its archives, and always something special to talk about, and they are conversations that I look forward to sharing in with all of you every single time I've ever had the opportunity to. So from wherever you're watching this video this morning, and from wherever you hear my voice, I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody who has believed in this YouTube channel with all of your heart. There will be more great conversations yet to come on this YouTube channel, so keep watching for those videos to drop, because as always and forever, it's always been my profound honor to record so many wonderful and relatable videos about Descendants of Zombies, and to have these conversations with so many wonderful people time and time again, because we can never have enough time in every conversation we have to say how we truly feel about Descendants of Zombies. But we will pick up this conversation right from where we left it off, just after sunset tonight, which is a conversation I invite you to join me for. Happy Easter to everybody watching this video, by the way, and I hope you have a wonderful Easter with your friends and your family, wherever you're celebrating Easter too, as we continue to have such a cultural impact on every fan of Descendants of Zombies through the power of YouTube and this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for having a very special place in your hearts for Descendants of Zombies, and having Descendants of Zombies mean so much to each and every one of you, and thank you so much as always for having watched these videos.